And let's circle back to our conversation, or rather the earlier news on EFCC dismissing 27 staff for misconduct in 2023. And now to discuss this further, we're joined by legal practitioner and social change advocate, Evan Ufeli. Evans, it's good to have you join us today, and Happy New Year to you. I haven't seen you in a while.
Yeah, I didn't hear that.
I said Happy New Year to you.
Oh, same to you. Thank you.
All right, let's get started, right? What are the legal and procedural implications of, staff misconduct within an anti-corruption agency like the EFCC?
The implication is far drawn. The implication is staring us at the face, okay? Every organization have rules and regulations, professional rules and regulations on conduct, that of the EFCC stands out because they were set up by law to, fight against corruption. Okay, and there have been allegations of members of the same body enmeshed in corruption. In fact, all the leaders, the persons or the operatives that have led the EFCC, apart from Farida Waziri, every other person was enmeshed with one issue of corruption or the other. Okay, apart from Ribadu and Waziri, every other person that have held that institution was enmeshed or had been enmeshed in corruption and corruptive tendencies and proclivities. Okay, that's starting from the top. So it therefore tells you that if the fish is bad in the head, there must be part of the body that will show the same sign. And that's exactly what we're seeing today. These operatives, some of them, okay, not all of them, are also involved in the same act that they're actually set up to eradicate.
Right.
And so when you have that in the body, it means that such a body cannot really fight corruption effectively.
Right.
If there are loose chains, and if there are areas where they will compromise standards and integrity of the institution, it therefore means that the body, little wonder the body is not very effective these days, because everyone is looking, and it's not just the EFCC, they stand out because they fight corruption. I mean, for the police, we cannot even say a word on that, because, the authority and the machinery is set in such a way that they will have to go and raise money from the public, which is corruption.
Evans,
and all that. But
right. Evans, when you think about what the chairman has said, he's reiterated the EFCC's zero-tolerance policy for corruption, emphasizing that no officer is above, disciplinary action, right? And one has to ask about the impact, that this dismissal of his employee for misconduct would have on the public perception of the EFCC's effectiveness. Because the EFCC, especially in the last year, 2025, have been on the spotlight. From its leader to the debacle with the ex-governor of Kogi State, and also when all the other state governments came together to put a suit against them, saying that it was an illegal entity. So much has happened. What would this mean for the public perception and the entirety of this agency?
Well, the public perception has really gone down very, very, because when they first started in 2003, they had this this clout, this very strong sense of purpose when they first started, and you could see that in the operations at that time, the way they went about the issues, the operations and all that. They were doing very well. But like everything in Nigeria, before you know it, they became what they are today. So the public perception is, the last year only, we had a lot of cases. Do you know, some time ago, there was one of the operatives killed another because of issues of sharing proceeds of crime. And we saw that, and it was alarming. From there, you have had issues consistent up until when they were taken to court for the purposes of their legality or otherwise, and so many things that follow. The conduct of its members, I see, is something that must be reviewed. The sanction that the chairman is talking about is important. That is what the leader should do, to take the bar high and create a standard that is formidable and entrenching. so that they're able to use that to tame, the bad eggs among them. And they should also look at recruitment. I don't think they are giving thought to recruitment. I mean, if they are giving it serious thought, many persons who are operatives will not be in there, because if you are going to be a security officer, they must look into your past. They must look into your present, okay, and then and look into the things you have a tendency of have susceptible, in the long run. So they have to work. The EFCC is not in a good place as we speak. So the chairman will have to do a lot, because it's not now just to reform society.
Right.
It's to now reform from inside out, to reform the institution that is going out or making an attempt to reform society. That is very critical. And they must do that, they must do that with urgency, because the crime net is growing by the day, So if the crime net outgrows them, they will not be able to catch up in both ends, to clean the criminality within and to go out to do the one without. So that will be devastating for the institution if they do not get their ass together as we speak.
And lastly, right, one has to just even talk about, our standing when it comes to corruption. We just saw our President Tinubu being a finalist on the list of most corrupt person of the year for this OCCRP, right? And now with, EFCC coming out with dismissing 27, I mean, what does this mean, for the organization's mission to combat corruption in Nigeria in its entirety? Very quickly, because we're out of time.
What it means is that we're not doing well security-wise, and we're not doing well as people who should show integrity. And our institutions, are pretty very loose to this same problem of society. I mean, there should come a time where we'll have an institution, a set of persons, a sect or a clan, that will so, purge themselves of iniquity, that they will stand for what is right, so that they can drag the other, overwhelming majority into that net, so that we can find safety and find a country that will have an image in the international community. Okay, in some institutions like the FBI, right, for example, it's difficult because of the kind of training and the recruitment. So this institution must work itself through to integrity.
Evans, I must say thank you so much for taking out the time to join us today. Evans Ufeli, the legal practitioner and social change advocate. Once again, thank you.